But first, he's a world beater at his sport, despite life-changing injuries. Nathan Macqueen from Dumfries fires arrows with an accuracy that recently won him a medal at the Paralympics. Bruce Mackenzie has been hearing his remarkable story.
A tug on the bowstring, a moment of stillness and poise, and then an explosion of power. In half a second, the arrow meets its target 50 metres away, hopefully touching the centre ring. Becoming a winner in this sport takes strength, control and accuracy, which takes years of dedication to get right.
So this is your medal?
Yeah.
But Nathan certainly has that. And at his third Paralympic Games in Paris, he finally got his hands on a gold medal to prove it.
I didn't want to go to my third Games and come home without a medal, so to get it was like a massive amount of relief as well, but there was like pride and everything as well, because like my family were there to watch it, like my gran, my son, my wife, they were all there, which was just amazing. Like, I cried quite a lot.
The success caps a decade of sporting dedication. But sport has always been a big part of Nathan's life. A promising rugby career with his native Dumfries and then Glasgow Warriors was dashed in an instant at the age of 17, when he was an apprentice joiner.
So it was during the recession, and my boss had given us a week off unpaid because we just had no work. So I was going to go and work with my dad that week, and I was driving to work on my 125 motorbike and had an accident, crashed into a car head on, broke 24 bones, I think 24. Yeah, I broke a lot of bones. I was in a really bad way. I woke up on the ground and tried to get up, and I couldn't. And at that moment I was like, there's something wrong. But then I blacked out and woke up in the ambulance. I didn't actually realise that I had actually died. When I blacked out, that was me. I had died. I got resuscitated, apparently.
After 6 months in hospital and 18 months of adjusting to his new life, Nathan was desperate to compete again. He tried a few wheelchair sports, but it was the bow and arrow which would become his full-time fascination, and eventually make him not only world number one, but a gold medalist too.
You must have realised quite quickly that you had a real ability for this thing.
No, I was so bad for so long, but I'm a stubborn person, so it was just perseverance. I think people don't really realise that there's a lot of arrows, a lot of time spent behind the bow shooting arrows, because it's the art of repetition. So you just need to repeat it and repeat it and repeat it, and then if you change something, you've got to repeat it again, repeat it again. It can be quite frustrating at times, but I know that the hard work that you put in, it does come good eventually. But staying positive in those moments when it's like you're trying a new technique and it's not working at that moment, that can be really hard.
I mean, I was just thinking that, in the middle of winter when you're on an industrial estate, wrapped up, shooting hundreds of arrows at a time,
yeah.
That big occasions like the Paralympics must have felt a long way away.
Yeah, like a long way away. But yeah, as I said, I like setting myself goals. So I do have to keep on reminding myself that this is going to pay off in the long run. But at that moment, yeah, like you can't feel your fingers. You're like, what am I doing?
With each pull of the string equating to a 60-pound lift, and Nathan pulling that string hundreds of times a day, it's a massive physical workout.
So I tend to shoot 200 arrows a day, 4 to 5 days a week, but I've got cardio sessions in there as well and gym sessions. But it's just my neck, my shoulders, that's the part that really get hammered. Like you're looking one direction constantly, so that's how your neck gets really tight. But then with being in a wheelchair as well, yeah, my necks and shoulders just get absolutely hammered.
Whilst this might look very high-tech, it stays true to the roots of the sport. It's essentially a string across a bow and an arrow. It's just that these days the bows cost thousands of pounds. Whilst it may be well engineered, the sportsperson behind it still does the work.
It's a lot of weight you're moving. I used to be a powerlifter, and like I've worked it out, and it's so much more weight than you move when you're powerlifting. So it's quite cool, because a lot of people don't really think archery is being a physical sport, but it is.
These days, Nathan has relocated to West Lothian. He trains 1 week at home, then drives 300 miles to spend the alternate week working with elite coaches in a specialist facility. All that effort and all those miles paid off when he picked up gold in a 2-person team.
How important is it for you to show that, you know, that accident wasn't the end of life?
I had my accident, and I very much had that thought of, like, mindset. It was like, oh God, it's all over. What have I done? And my mum was the one who was like, your life's not over, it's just taking a different path. And at the time, I didn't believe her. But looking back now, like, she was right. Like, I've got a saying, it's like walking's overrated.
Having lifted 1 gold medal, Nathan now has his sights set on more to add to it. And he's already focusing on the next Games in LA in 2028.